Shweta Walia, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be presenting my work on ocular chemical burn insights from a tertiary eye care center. So we all know that the ocular chemical burn is an ophthalmic emergency, and development of limbal stem cell deficiency is a serious complication of acute ocular burn. And with new promising cell therapies treatments coming, the outcome of ocular surface rehabilitative procedures has been optimistic. So the objective of our study was to study the demographic of ocular chemical burn, the clinical characteristic, the risk factors, and to study the effect of surgical outcome. So we included all the patients who presented with ocular chemical burn. These are our study tools. For acute cases, after medical management was given first, and if the patients were not healing, they were planned for surgical management depending upon the grade and type of epithelial defect. And these patients were followed bi-weekly till 3 months. So the majority of our patients were within the age group of 20 to 40 years. Males were 43, females 23. So we included 66 patients. 31.8% of the patients were illiterate. Majority of our patients were skilled workers and belonged to upper middle and upper lower category. Majority of our patients, 40, had a workplace injury, and most of these patients were aware about the protective devices that they can use, and they were also aware of the first aid devices, but still they were not using any of the protective equipments. In 59, it was accidental injury, and in 7, it was assault, and to our surprise, 4 were males. Not only the females were assaulted, 4 males were also there in our study. 9 patients were intoxicated at the time of injury, and this is one of our patient who was intoxicated, and his vomit had gone into the eye, and this is how he presented to us. In 47 patients presented within 24 hours, and 13 had bilateral injury. 26 patients had acid burns, and 45 had alkali. That majority of our patients were in the grades of 1 to 2 ocular chemical burn, and the visual acuity was in 6 to 612 in 31 patients, and 16 to 636 in 19. Now coming to complications, the elevated IOP was seen in 24, corneal opacity in 9, symblepharon in 7, entropion in 3, phthisis in 4, and pseudopterygium in 2. These are some of our pictures of the patients at the time of presentation. So 28 eyes were managed medically, 37 patients underwent amniotic membrane grafting, 7 AMG with symblepharon release, 4 underwent SLET, 2 underwent keratoplasty, and 1 was eviscerated. So this is the picture of we are putting AMG. And this is the picture of doing SLET procedures, and you can see that the cornea clearing after 3 months of follow-up. This is at presentation, and the last follow-up, the central cornea has begun to clear. This patient first underwent entropion surgery, and then we planned the patient for keratoplasty. So we can see that the mode of injury, reporting time, grade of injury, and visual acuity at the time of presentation was significantly associated with the final visual acuity. The AMG was done in 37 patients, and it led to early and faster reepithelialization, pain reduction, and final visual outcome, and it was done in grade 3 to 6 patients, and average duration of healing was 17 days. SLET was done in 4 patients, and we found that the corneal transparency increased, reduced the corneal vascularization, and improved the final visual acuity. Penetrating keratoplasty was done in 2 patients, and the patients who underwent SLET had significant corneal clarity at 3 months, and we are still following these patients, and we feel that there might not be need of keratoplasty in these patients. To summarize, the majority of our patients were in the age group of 20 to 40. Highest proportion of patients belong to upper lower socioeconomic class. Significant number of patients had limited education, with 37% being illiterate. Awareness and use of PPE it was present, but still they were not using it. Notably, 90% of patients were not intoxicated at time of injury. Most of the injuries were unilateral, and significant association between the initial visual acuity and the final best visual acuity and poor outcomes and initial grade of chemical injury was seen, emphasizing the need for prompt and appropriate medical intervention to mitigate the long-term complications. This study provides valuable insights into demographic characteristics, risk factors, clinical presentation, and management outcomes of ocular chemical injuries. And recent advances in surgical management has improved the final visual acuity. And these findings underscore the importance of public awareness, workplace safety measures, and timely medical interventions to improve the prognosis for individuals affected by ocular chemical burn. Thank you.
So very nice study and very elaborate presentation. You have covered most of the factors very nicely. So amniotic membrane is readily available.
We are using freshly, we are procuring it from the gynae department. We have informed them, and whenever we are planning the patient, we take planned section, and from that AMG is brought and we procure
So
it.
you're not using the frozen one?
No.
So you make sure the patient has been checked for HIV?
Yes, because since it is an elective cesarean section, so the baseline investigations and the serological markers have been done. We take only those confirmed cases. And it is, AMG has been in our institute being used since I was PG in 2004. From that time we are using it, and AMG is not a big problem in our institute.
Yeah, what about the infection part? How?
So we take it and we put it in betadine eye drops and then into gentamicin and then we implant.
How long you put it in betadine and?
5 minutes.